Blog Talk Radio.
Basically.
What the hell is that?
I'm sorry. Well.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show. Ridiculous.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show.
Welcome on into another edition of the Will and Thunder Show. I am Kevin Thunder out here in Radio Land. I have Will Telltale and Chris the Lady in Black. It's Tuesday night. This is the most fun you can have with your clothes on. What's going on, guys?
What's up? You don't know my life, Thunder. You don't know how fun I have to have my clothes on.
Well, okay then. I was just saying. I was just trying to make things interesting. Now you have my mind wandering.
Damn, Chris, doing a little clothes scissor grind in there.
In the grind. Well,
I'm just fucking around with Thunder.
Okay. Well,
having fun with our bass player as we always do. For those,
of course,
For those listening, our guest Beyond of the band Murderfly will be joining us in about an hour. He's had some technical difficulties with his vehicle, but that's metal for you. That's rock and roll,
absolutely.
Baby.
Absolutely.
Yep. But Thunder, I got something I want to play for you before you delve too far into the show.
Absolutely. Okay.
I think you'll like this.
Really. Everybody's got jokes.
Oh, hell yeah. Go Knowles.
The Krusty Crab Leg song.
The Krusty Crab Leg song.
Oh, yes, okay. Well deserved. And I should have known better.
Football is great, soccer is dumb.com.
Damn right, Hank.
You know what? Well deserved. And yes, crab leg goes well with crow. I should have never said anything, man. We were up 23-10. We were killing it, man. And as soon as I start watching the fucking game, pardon my language, as soon as I start watching it, and of course I have to be a smart ass and text you, and then my Miami Hurricanes went to shit and turned into a tropical depression.
Well, sounds like the Vikings game to me. The tropical depression, nice.
Yeah.
Thunder, when you started talking your trash, what was my reply to you?
I'm not scared. I'm not worried. I'm not scared. Man, I watch every list. I watch the rest of the game.
For our listeners out there who have no idea what the fuck is going on, can one of you guys explain what the fuck is going on?
Okay, this is what's happened. Okay, the other night, it was the Seminoles versus the Miami Hurricanes. There was a huge Seminoles fan.
The reigning college football championship, Florida State Seminoles.
Okay, anyway.
Just throw that in.
So I'm a huge Canes fan, Miami Hurricanes. We're both from Florida, man. And for years we've had this rivalry, like they've had. We always busted each other's balls about, teams. Well, this year, FSU now is ranked number 1 again, but they were ranked number 5. And actually, Miami played them a great game. Don't get me wrong here. But you know what? They were up at the half, 23-10. I had just turned the TV. I got done cooking supper, doing all the things around the house. It was my time to watch the football. And I'm like, 23-10. We're killing them. We're killing them. So, of course, being a smart ass, I have to get on my phone and I text Will, what's the score? And from that point on, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm like, we're up 23-10, ha, ha, ha. And he's like, I'm not scared. And so we went back and forth on that for a little while, and then that's when the league started.
I can't hear you, Thunder.
Hi.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, we lost.
No, I'm serious.
Can you hear me now?
You got real cool. Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, so, I mean, is it clear enough for you? You're going to get my reply, and I apologize. Yes, you know what? I got to eat crow that night. You know, they came back and they won in the last couple minutes, and it's just my luck. That's why I should not watch sports of any kind. Because if I'm a fan of a team and I am watching a game, something's going to go wrong. I'm like a bad luck fan.
That's true. When the Dolphins were playing Green Bay, we were doing well, we were leading, and then all of a sudden, you know, you call me up and you're like, "Oh, about them Fins," and we lose the game. It's like literally the game just took a nosedive right after you called me.
Which sucks is for them to win, I can't watch it. I mean, even if I have the slightest idea and I hit my TiVo and record the game, so I can watch it later because I know I won't be able to watch the regular game because I'll be at work or whatever. No, they'll still lose because they'll watch it later. It's not there. It's not there.
Well, at least you're not a Raider fan. At the end of the day, no matter how bad it gets, you can
I'm not a
Raider
fan. That's right. That's
you're not a Raiders fan. So you see, Thunder, everything has a silver lining.
Yes, it does.
All right.
Well, it sounds like my weekend was better than yours anyway, Thunder.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about
actually, the weekend was good. The Dolphins won this week. You know, well, actually, it was during the week last week. So, yeah, your weekend.
Well, my non-football-related weekend was better than yours.
Well, there you go. Mine wasn't, I mean, and on top of that, okay, that happened, that was Saturday when that happened.
Right.
After the game, I'm playing with my two boys, and my son grabs this piece of cardboard and folds it up into like a sword almost, and he's like, you know, he just watched 300 Rise of the Empire.
Was he getting ready to stab the bass player?
Correct. Yeah, he was trying to kill me with this cardboard. So I go in, because we had just moved into our house a little while ago, so we had this extra cardboard laying around. I go make a shield and a sword, and I made a helmet and everything, and we're playing, having a blast, right? Well, my son does the 300, I'm going to jump off a cliff, you know, in the midair and swing my sword. Well, I'm barefoot. He jumps off, he like runs and jumps off the corner of the bed right there and lands with all 65 pounds of his body weight and the heel of his foot on my toe.
Oh.
Snaps it right there.
We need like the Lord of the Rings soundbite. You shall not pass.
No, exactly. Look, so now I'm hobbling around the next 2 days at work looking like a jackleg because my 11-year-old whooped my ass. The Hurricanes lost. I mean, I'm just miserable. You know, I get to work Sunday and I'm hobbling around, and everybody up front joke around because it's Sunday. It's a church day at the restaurant I work at. You know, 12 o'clock, everybody comes in from church. Old people. Well, one of the old people that came in had a walker, and everybody kept telling me, if you need some help, there's something up front that'll help you.
Oh, outrageous!
I mean, come on now. You know, I'm already an old guy at work. You know, I still work in the restaurant business. I'm 42 years old, so you know, I'm working with 20-year-olds, and they always joke around, call me pops and everything. Anyway, well, now I'm hopping around like an old man, so you know, the prophecy's fulfilled. Ridiculous.
Do you ever do you ever shake your fist at them and tell them to get off your damn lawn?
I do all the time.
All right.
I get to be the grumpy old man, exactly. But anyway.
Well, I mean, maybe I'll cheer you guys up.
Okay, and you want to hear the kicker to my week right here? So far?
Right,
This is the week I'm having. Okay. Yesterday, my 11-year-old who broke my toe comes home and got a little shiner on his eye. And he's like, Dad, I gotta go talk to the principal tomorrow. Me and this kid got into a fight today.
You're gonna have to go in there limping on your bad toe.
No, I actually didn't. I didn't have to go in.
He beat me up too.
But yeah, exactly.
I
should have gone to the research about it. He broke my toe, kicked his kid away, put him in handcuffs. No.
He's a bully. I can't help it.
I know. So anyway, the story he comes up last night. last night yesterday he comes home from school and he got a shiner in his eye, and he told me the story that this is what happened. This boy that he goes to school with was talking crap about everybody, so he stood up and told the kid, look, man, quit talking crap about everybody. Well, he went to go to the bathroom. This was happening in gym class, and the kid was already in the bathroom and kind of, caught him off guard, shoved him. He shoved him back. He got hit in the eye, and then he grabbed the kid and hit him a couple times. That's the story he tells me yesterday. And I'm like, you should not, fight in school, blah, 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 but you kind of were defending yourself. We'll see what happens. Well, he comes home today. Well, by the way, my 11-year-old, who's never been in trouble before, now has got kicked out of school for 60 days. He has to go to an alternative school.
Thunder, I can't hear you.
Yeah, Thunder, you're breaking up.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
My microphone was messed up. Anyway.
You need to just let it go.
Yeah. He got kicked out of school for 60 days because there's a no tolerance for fighting in his school. And he has to go to alternative school for 60 days. But then I find out the story today that in gym class, he was, everybody's joking around and they're talking about, who's the toughest. He's like, I can beat up anybody.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah.
Somebody called him.
I can beat up my dad.
So this kid, exactly. So what happens that, everybody goes in the locker room to, change out afterward. And this one kid's like, oh, yeah, you can't beat up everybody. And they were joking around. Well, another kid shoves my son into the other boy. The other boy gets mad, shoves him back. They start shoving each other. He hits him in the eye. Then my son shoves him against the door and punches him 3 times. But that's what really happened. So he actually, was an instigator with, I can whoop anybody's butt. And now he has to go to little kid jail in alternative school for 60 days.
He's got to go where they pin the mittens on year round.
I mean,
all year round.
Well,
and now my son's going to be pegged because it's going to be on his record from now on.
He's going to learn to be even more of a badass.
Exactly right. He's going to
learn
how
to stab bass players.
Right, exactly.
He's going to be a criminal.
He's the same one who I promised I'm going to get him a guitar for Christmas so he can start learning rock and roll. Well, he's already living the lifestyle now, so he might as well.
I know, he's already rock and roll.
Exactly, Look,
he's already metal.
I cannot wait for his VH1 special. It's like, yeah, man, I got kicked out of school in the 7th grade. I was 11 years old. What's some kid's ass? Yeah. One night I broke my dad's toe, next day. This is horrible.
I just keep thinking of the little kids, oh, my dad can beat up your dad. My dad can beat up your dad. Oh, yeah, well, I beat up my dad, so fuck you.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It is, Like, my dad will beat up your dad.
Badass kid ever.
He's like, fuck you guys. I beat up my dad, so you guys can kiss my ass. Bring your dad on, fuckers.
Bring it.
I'll break his bones, too. That's right.
Uh-huh.
When's parent-teacher conference? I'll be there, bitches. He's standing outside the school with one of those little baseball bats you get at the baseball game, like a little billy club, just waiting. Take you out of the knee, you fucker.
Break, goddammit.
That's right. Leave me alone.
Now, I'm interested in hearing about your weekend there, Chris.
Oh, thanks, guys. Well, I had a very eventful weekend. As you guys know, I went down to L.A. to see our friends, A Sound of Thunder. They were fucking awesome. Yes, they were great. Shout out to A Sound of Thunder right now. They're probably listening. But, it was finally cool to get to meet them in person, and they put on a fantastic show. Anybody in the area who didn't go, you don't know what you missed, and fuck you, pretty much.
That's right.
But they were amazing. They did Udaroff, they did Queen of Hell, they did Kill That Bitch. I mean, all the classics that we love. It was just, they were on fire. And the opening act was the first opening act was kind of weird. I don't remember their name.
Hold on. I think that if Thunder's son joins the WWE, Kill That Bitch ought to be his intro music.
That's right.
He's gonna have to Kill That Bitch as his music.
And at first, before the song starts,
theme. It's fast to say right music. Like, oh, he needs a theme. Oh, we finished it 5 minutes ago.
That's right.
That's how hard they work. Like, seriously.
And since he's only 11 years old and he's already such a badass, you just have to play the little intro from Spinal Tap. Turn it to 11, and then play the music. He'll come out there and he'll be, little badass right there. I can see him in a little, jumper, his little, Speedo fucking thing on, going, yeah, guys, come on.
But
he'd be wrestling Hornswoggle.
It was a most metal event. Let me tell you how metal a band Sound of Thunder is. I just have to throw it out there. we go to this place, and it's a place we've never been to before. It's kind of a little off the beaten path, a little small. And the one security guy working there is just a total dick. And, yeah, I'm calling you out, guy at the complex. You're a total dick. If you're listening to this, you are a total dick. And he enjoyed his job as a security guard a little too much. Because it's like, the website says you're open at 5. And then the Sound of Thunder's flyer says the doors open at 9. And we get there about 9:07. So either way, your doors are supposed to be open. We get there and we walk in, and the security guard's like, you got to wait outside. And we're kind of looking around. We're like, we don't see anybody here but us. Like, we're the only people here yet. The show hasn't started yet. And he's just like, well, you got to wait outside. And we're just, this is bullshit. You know? But we didn't really know what to do. So we just stood outside. We figured, because I had been texting with Josh back and forth throughout the day, and I was like, well, I figure he'll see my text eventually and know that I'm here. And eventually Nina comes out, and she's like, what are you guys doing out here? They won't let us in. The security guard said we can't come in until after the sound check or whatever. And she said pretty much, fuck that, I'm going to wait out here with you guys because you're my people.
Nice.
So
that is so metal right
outside. Nina and Chris waited outside with us until the doors opened.
That is so fucking awesome.
That's so metal, right? I mean, what other band does that?
That is.
Like, they waited with the audience, like, fuck that. If you can't come in, then I'm not coming in. And at one point, we were all locked out. This is like,
they should have just set up,
out.
Dude, they should have just found a plug on the outside of the building, set up, and started jamming. They're like, fuck you guys, we're not even going inside, we're playing out here. Somebody run to the store and get some beers.
Well, there was like an Indian restaurant a couple doors down, and it was at a point where it's just, let's just go to the Indian restaurant and do the show there. Fuck it.
That'd be awesome. Belly dancers everywhere and shit. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, because it's just, you're not letting us in, and but they had a pretty good turnout. The two opening bands were, well, the first one I didn't really dig so much, but the second band is definitely a future Will and Thunder guest, for sure. You guys definitely have to check them out, and we'll get that straightened out in the near future. But where did Will go? I don't see him on the switchboard right now.
I'm not sure. I guess it's just me and you running thing. So hopefully
he got abducted by the aliens.
He got abducted this time. It wasn't me. I guess they've got all that they could from the bass players, which we're not the most intelligent kind. So I mean, it was sure to happen pretty soon anyway. But so they went on to the guitar players.
I guess so. I don't see a message from Will here on my Facebook, so I'm just like, where'd you go?
Well, hopefully the board's still running and we're still live right now.
Yeah, the board's still running. Everything's still cool. I see you and me on there, but I don't see Will. I don't see him. He just kind of, I don't know. I think the aliens got him. I think we're going to have Kronkenwelpen come back on here. Figured they were really good at solving the alien mysteries.
I don't understand this whole concept with us. I mean, we try so hard here at the Will and Thunder Show. And, I mean, actually, Will's pretty technically savvy. Me, not so much. I mean, and I'm willing to admit that. But I really don't understand how we keep I mean, it's like every week. If we don't have a technical problem, I don't think we'd be able to handle the show.
Because we are the Spinal Tap of radio shows.
and I accept that wholeheartedly with the utmost honor.
We have a Spinal Tap moment every week.
Give us a break here. So, well, anyway. So you had a great time at the show. Sound of Thunder was awesome.
Oh, God, yes. They were amazing, and they want to move to the West Coast. So, I think their next Kickstarter needs to be relocate A Sound of Thunder to Los Angeles. So, and then maybe the extra money with the Kickstarter, get Chris a job doing something with A Sound of Thunder so she can relocate to LA, too.
That's right.
And we'll all just live there together and, go to the beach every day.
Every band needs a PR department.
I know, right?
I mean, seriously. I mean, we could work a way for you to get some public relations, kicking here. And, you could run the Kickstarter program, and you could run,
No, actually, no, if they just give me a job dealing with dickhead security guards at all their shows, that would be...
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that. Look, man. Look, I know a guy.
No.
Hey, look, I know a guy you can hire. He'll go in there and whoop his ass. He's a little short guy, but, I mean, he's tough.
I don't know, but he gets beat up by his kid, so I don't.
No, I was talking about my kid.
You know what? Your kid. Your kid can actually be a Sound of Thunder's security. Seriously, like you can just.
That's right, and look, man, he doesn't charge much, man.
Small, but he packs a punch.
That's right. Look, man, and he doesn't charge much. You know, he'll go out there for a Snickers and a bag of Skittles and whoop some ass.
Yeah, just a glass of chocolate milk and some
right.
baseball cards or whatever.
That's right. He's over there counting his Monopoly money, doing shots of chocolate milk in the corner, going, "Yeah, I'll get you, you fucker."
Well, I didn't mean it that way.
I need to go buy him an eye patch, man.
I meant because kids like chocolate milk.
I know. I'm joking here. I was just trying to put a tough spin on it.
Mentally challenged.
No, he's not mentally challenged.
I know.
I
was
am.
like, I didn't mean. So you want the chocolate milk?
Yeah, I like the chocolate milk. That is a sound drop, and I'm so sorry I said that.
Yeah, when Will comes back and listens to this, he's gonna hear that. Are you there, Will? I see you on the switchboard there.
There you are.
What happened to you? Did the aliens love you?
I tripped a breaker somehow.
You got an alien probe? We won't talk about that.
Anyway.
Oh, damn it.
Wow. Well, this is another interesting intro to the Will and Thunder Show this evening. Oh, I love it. Not just good, but good for you.
But yeah, so the band sends their love, obviously, the Society to all of you guys, and they had an excellent time from what it looks like doing their first West Coast tour. So hopefully they will come back, but next time I'll try not to let them leave. Like, no.
Yeah, you're gonna kidnap them.
Yeah. You know, so as much as they liked it out there, I don't think that it would be kidnapping much. Like, yay.
And their next album, instead of songs from the garage, will be songs from the trunk of your car.
I don't have a car, so it's like they're gonna be in the back of my chair.
You need to get an ice cream truck or something, an old white van. Like, come here, guys. I got new guitars. You want to see them?
I know.
Damn it.
Look, it's my bass player. I have one now. Everybody should have one.
Well, we got a
little keychain necklace on them. Go, look what I have.
I want to play a promo, and then we'll get into the rock history. How's that?
Sounds like a plan.
The Will and Thunder Show. Okay, cool. And it's the Will and Thunder Show. Hello, everybody. This is Pamela Moore, and you are listening to the Will and Thunder Show.
All right, I just love that. She was such an awesome guest, Miss Pamela Moore, from the Queens Operation Crime.
And she was so real, you know. I mean, and she wasn't like, oh, I'm a rock star. She was like busting on her own self, going, yeah, I don't know how to do this, and I'm just this, person. I'm just trying to make it through the world like everybody else.
Right.
Very, very cool, down to earth, man. Awesome chick, man.
Well, that's what I love about our guests is that they're all real people. These are real musicians out there that are trying to make a living at what they do, and they're not rock stars by any means. They're rock stars in our hearts, but as far as like the paychecks go, they're not making, Foo Fighters money. These are people who do it for the love of the music, and in fact, they don't always get paid any money. They still do it anyway.
Well, and that's what rock and roll is. That's where it came from, man. That's the whole idea of it, man. And I know I said man like 3 times in like 10 seconds there.
Speaking of where it came from, let's do some rock history.
Let's do
yeah.
And now, this week in rock history.
All right, rock history. We haven't done rock history in a while.
No, we've had so many stories going on, and just everything's been, it's been so busy on the show in the beginning aspects of it that we really haven't got to it. So tell us a little history about what's going on in the rock and roll world.
All right, you're going to like this one. It involves Jerry Lee Lewis.
Ouch, nice.
But now you're going to get a little bit of vindication for those of you who don't, who didn't hear and everything. There was a story a while back where Jerry Lewis tried to shoot a beer bottle out of his bass player's hand. Now,
Continue on with that story.
Yeah, he missed.
You got to tell the whole story. There you go.
Not once, but twice. He missed. Shot his bass player in the stomach twice. So,
at least it wasn't his hand.
True.
He could still play bass.
We've been trying to figure out ever since whether he was a good shot or a really bad shot.
I'm going with very good.
I'm going to go with I'm going to plead the fifth right now because go ahead.
Oh man. But anyway, on November 18th of 1970, Jerry Lee Lewis and his wife divorced. Now,
did he shoot her too?
Well,
no, she wasn't a bass player.
True.
Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know. Well, she was something to him though. She was his cousin.
Well,
right.
See, now, yeah, I knew that. I knew that he married his cousin. It's understandable. I mean, hell. Now, Jerry Lee Lewis, I wish I'd heard that story years ago because I would have put Ebola on his piano keys. But,
No, but get this. They were married on December 12th, 1957, when she was only 14 years old.
Exactly. And now I have heard that story before. And, it never really rang a bell either to bring that up because, it's something I heard and I guess I just, shuffle it away in if I'm ever on Jeopardy file in the back of my head right there. But,
right.
Yeah, he did. He married it's not like a distant cousin. It's not, third removed. No, it was his first cousin.
First cousin.
Well, and she was so young. If you've ever seen the movie Great Balls of Fire, if this was any truth at all, she was so young when they got married that she packed up her dollhouse when they moved in together after they were, you see the scene where she's packing up her stuff to go live with him, and she, packs up her dollhouse, and it's just, my God, she's still so young, she's playing with dolls, and, it's just kind of weird,
And it's very kooky and and on top of that, the Great Balls of Fire, maybe that's what happened that night. Maybe Jerry Lewis drank so much that he thought his bass player's balls were on fire and he had a fire extinguisher and was trying to put out the Great Balls of Fire.
Oh, God. I'm not in his head, so I really could not say.
I don't think you want to be. He married his first cousin and shot his bass player twice.
Yeah, I don't want to know what goes on in there. But, in a weird way, that's what makes him the genius that he is musically, because I think it's almost a prerequisite to have a bit of a screw loose to be so talented creative-wise, because when you have a screw loose, you kind of see things a little bit askew than everyone else. You see things that other people with more logical minds don't, and that's what enables them to create the way that they do. So, in a way, it's kind of, you take one for the other. They have to be a little bit kooky, but as a result, they make great art. So it's kind of, you put up with it.
I understand that to an extent, but there's a big difference in being kooky like Jim Morrison from The Doors and being kooky like I'm going to marry my cousin and shoot my bass player.
Yeah.
There's a different kooky there. That's like saying there's, a difference between, the guy that you see on TV who's lived through 3 tornadoes and builds his trailer back in the same spot, and Jeffrey Dahmer who decided one day, I'm going to have my neighbor over for dinner, literally.
Right.
Yeah.
There's 2 different kinds of crazy.
Well,
yeah, there's several levels of crazy, actually. There's all different kinds.
True.
Yeah.
Now,
I fall into about 3 of those categories.
Now, I do have a bass player story here for you, though.
Okay, go ahead. Let me see it.
That
was one of my levels of crazy right there.
Yeah, you might want to, breathe into a paper bag or something.
Yeah, because on November 17th, 1979, Jethro Tull's bass player, John Glasscock, died of a heart attack at only 26 years old.
Yeah. It's kind of a fucked up situation. Only 26 years old, but you have to understand. Now, this was 1970s. This is the height of...
They had defibrillators back then.
Look, but this is the height of the sex, drug, rock, and roll era. This guy's in one of the biggest bands out, in a huge band out there. He probably did more blow. and drinking and I mean, I don't know. It could have been genetics, but I really think it's that day and age right there where. I mean, everything was. Look, man, you got the club, Janis Joplin, and all that. That died. All of them were in their 29 or something like that. Was it called the 29 Club?
27.
Or 27 Club. The 27 Club. Thank you. And all those people. I mean, and it all was rock and roll guys and girls. And the majority of who was in they consider in the club right there were in that era right there, and it was drugs or a hard lifestyle.
But I do think...
I don't know. My theory is that because I've seen you get so worked up over bass player stories, is that bass players are a little bit high-strung, and I think he just got so pissed off at hearing about a bad bass player story that he gave himself a heart attack.
He might have, because hypertension's a real deal right there, and I have it all the time, man. Look, man, you hear stories about he probably heard the story about Jerry Lewis shooting a bass player and blew his top right there. Lucky he didn't have an aneurysm first.
Actually, I do believe that Jerry Lee Lewis and Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull knew each other.
Then there you go. He probably shot him too.
No. He just fed him a bunch of bacon grease for about 20 minutes before he died. Son of a bitch.
Well, what a way
he was
to
fine.
go.
3 days earlier, his cholesterol was fine. I don't know what happened. Oh, Jerry Lee Lewis came over and told him, here, drink this beer. Laced with...
Drink this grease. Here you go, buddy.
I'm from the South. We eat grease with everything. Here, have another biscuit. It's bullshit.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
And you know what? That's my story. And that's my perspective. I'm gonna write a book on all these people who have died. And I'm gonna put who's at fault for all these deaths in the rock and roll. No, yeah. I'm gonna find all the bass players who died, and I'm gonna do my little Kevin Bacon 7 degrees of separation, and I'm gonna connect them to Jerry Lee Lewis and Don Dokken fuckers.
Oh God, those two need to go on.
It'll be my
together.
own conspiracy. It'll be my own conspiracy book.
The Thunder Conspiracy. I love it. You know what? Okay, I'm throwing it out there. That needs to be the next name of Sound of Thunder's album. The next album, A Thunder Conspiracy.
The conspiracy book. That's right.
The Thunder Conspiracy.
I love it. And that's what my book's going to be called.
We need to push that.
I'm going to start writing it tonight.
Awesome.
I'm going to start looking tonight, and I'm going to say, I'm just going to Google crazy bass player deaths. Yeah, I'm going to Google it. What else am I supposed to use?
No, I'm just listening to you, Thunder. It's all
anyway,
right.
I'm going to Google mysterious bass player deaths, and I'm going to look into them, and I'm going to see how many degrees of separation to where they knew one of these two artists right here. And I'm going to find my own bass player death Illuminati.
Bass player death. That sounds like a good name for a band.
Bass player death Illuminati.
Yeah.
Look, dude, I'm coming up with names out of my... Look, man, guys, you don't even just have to be on our show. You just have to listen. And you'll be the next...
Thunder, I'm telling you, you need to patent this shit before Gene Simmons gets hold of it. Do it. I'm telling you. Because he's listening to this right now. He's like, wait.
Gene Simmons might not want to be part of it because he might be part of the conspiracy because, after all, he is a bass player.
He wants to be the last standing bass player, that motherfucker. It's his fault. He's in conspiracy with them all.
It is. It's all him.
He's like, look, so-and-so has his own bass line, so no one's going to buy my Axe bass guitar. He's got to be gone. Dokken,
yeah, he's got to go.
We got you.
We've decided that your time is up.
It's in your hand, Dokken. It's in your hands. Lewis is gone. He's departed from the earth. He can only haunt them now. It's your turn to go take him out.
Yeah.
And when Doc is gone, it'll be Malmsteen or somebody. I'm watching you, guitar players.
Hey, Malmsteen likes bass players.
For now.
True.
He always hires really good bass players. So I mean, no, he likes you guys.
Yeah.
He likes you.
Keep your enemies or keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. That's right. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's why Yngwie hires all the good bass players.
No,
I see what's happening. He better. He doesn't want to be a part of my book.
Yeah, we just listed about 10 people who are never going to be on our show ever. We've totally alienated them. No pun intended.
I've given up on Yngwie because all he has to do is go back there and listen and realize that Thunder doesn't like him very much.
Or you either. Come on now. And it wasn't just me. Some of our former guests have said, I think he's an amazing guitar player. But from what I understand, and one situation that, I saw, he was kind of a douche, man. I mean, and if you're a douche, you're a douche. I'm going to call you, whatever. I'm a douche, too. Call me a douche. I'll still come on your show. I'll come play bass for you as long as you don't have a gun. We're going to record in one of those states that don't let you have carry permits. We're going to have to go to Sweden to record. No guns.
Damn.
Or medicine of any kind, or
when
I
guns
won't
are
drink or
outlawed,
eat
only
anything.
outlaws will have guns.
Not in Sweden. They just throw candy bars at each other and shit. I don't know.
Wait, what? Candy where?
Sweden.
Somebody gave me candy? Where? Where's my candy? Did you send it to me?
I did.
Is it in my mailbox? No,
it's
I don't
in your
have
mailbox,
any
yes.
This is some serious shit. Okay.
Anyway. So next week on the Will and Thunder Show, we're going to have Kevin Thunder in his new book, The Conspiracy, The Thunder Conspiracy. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I need to get a typewriter.
A typewriter?
That's how tech savvy you are.
How cool would that be? I'd just be sitting in the little room.
I hear Texas Instruments. Has got a few top of the line.
Yeah. I hear Coleco has got a really amazing high-speed work of art there.
It is, man. And you should see the green screen light up, man. It lights the whole room up.
Like, I'm learning.
Well, we've got two more news stories here, and they're both. Well, we got one punk and one metal, so we're gonna wrap up the history with those. November 19th, 1977, Joey Ramone, of the Ramones, of course, they were playing a show. They were playing a show, and a faulty humidifier exploded, basically dousing Joey with boiling water. And dude finishes the show.
Of course, he's a badass. It's the Ramones, man.
Right.
That's right.
Although he spent like the following week after the show, he was rushed to the emergency room and spent the next week in a burn unit. But at least he finished the show. And
well, you know what? And he got his wish. He went to the hospital and got sedated.
That's rock and roll.
That's awesome.
24 hours ago, got burned. Now I need to be sedated.
Oh shit!
A bass player that sings. What are you trying to do? Are you trying out for Don Dawkins' band or what?
I am. But I don't play with a pick, so fuck him. No, I mean, I said it out loud. My inner monologue is kind of chapped right now, like my ass, because I'm a dickhead. Anyway.
All right.
No, seriously. In my opinion. No, seriously, we're talking about the Ramones here. The Ramones is one of the best punk bands. I mean, they were the quintessential punk band, in my opinion.
Sure.
Just loved them, man. Everything about them. I mean, just their attitude. Just cool guys, man.
That's not your opinion. That's not your opinion. It's just a fact.
It is a fact. That's right. Go ahead.
I just did.
With the next stories.
Oh.
I mean, all right.
It's only fitting that in 1992, on November 18th, Black Sabbath was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
All right.
Do what?
Huh? Did you hear me?
Black Sabbath.
No, I did not. Black Sabbath. I didn't hear that. I only caught bits and pieces of that. My bad. Technical difficulty in my ear right there. Goes with the show. So Black Sabbath.
What did you think I said? Bashed rabbit?
I didn't hear. It was a jumbled mess in my ear. I don't know. Leave me
you
alone,
said
okay?
Dag Nabbit.
Dag Nabbit?
Dag Nabbit.
Dag Nabbit.
Dag Nabbit, well.
Nobody got that, but that's okay. Why is it so quiet?
I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not over there.
I have an update about our guest. Everything's straight. I've got the songs to play, and he'll be joining us in about 15 minutes or so, and we're gonna have a great interview with a really cool guy.
That's right.
Is our guest here now, or?
No, I'm just.
No,
okay,
anyway.
Okay.
No, he was.
He's
he
probably
was at,
still.
Like I told you, he was having technical difficulties with his car, and but he got there and he got me the song, so we're good. We're straight.
Well, right on.
Sweet.
Oh man, and this man's got some stories. He's a very crazy individual, and
Yes, he gives me wide open. He's beyond.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, for example, with that store Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yes.
They approached him for to offer him an endorsement, but he wasn't. But he told them to fuck off because they were nowhere near in his league of crazy.
Look, man. Okay.
Okay, that was bad.
It was. But anyway. Should I talk more about my book? Because I've been Well, in another note, I did read a story.
English? That's impossible.
Hey, it sounded good in my head, okay?
That's where the problem lies, right there.
I dressed
That's where the
myself.
problem lies.
I would say that was a drop. I would say that was a drop, but since I'm the only one that makes drops, ain't gonna happen.
When you were off air for a moment, did you get the drop of me doing the chocolate milk?
I did not.
You missed that.
Yeah,
we were going through a spiel.
milk.
Yeah. Yeah, I like chocolate milk. Anyway.
Oh, I did hear that.
Yes. But anyway.
He dresses himself.
I do.
I dress myself.
Mercy.
Oh, we're having too much fun. It should be illegal. We have so much fun.
Are you smoking a bong over?
Yeah. Are you playing a bongo in the background?
No, actually, I'm not.
It sounded like you were smoking a bong. Huh?
Are you?
Am I smoking a bong? No, I'm not smoking a bong.
Are you in a bong? Are you in a bong?
Are you in a
now
bowl?
That's what it sounds like.
Oh, God.
I know what you're talking about.
You sounded all far away. Oh, now he's got the munchies.
Where's the potato chips? I actually do not smoke marijuana, but it should
Right
be
now.
legalized. So.
What was that
we
for?
still need that patriotic music. Well, I thought Thunder was getting ready to go into one of his patriotic speeches.
I can because in all honesty, I think that in all honesty, marijuana should be legalized. The amount of money that they put into the judiciary system per person for a simple drug charge is ridiculous, and they have shown in scientific facts. And I'm not a marijuana smoker. I don't smoke weed. I don't like it. It's not my thing. And that's 100% honest there. But I know a lot of people who do, and I know that it does have health benefits, especially pain management-wise, also with glaucoma, and it helps cancer patients deal day-to-day, especially when they're going through chemotherapy and with sickness, things like this. And, as stupid as this may sound, you take a person who's been going through chemotherapy and they're constantly sick to their stomach, you give them marijuana, in pill form, or you let them smoke it, and it does create a sensation, it hits you in the brain that makes you hungry, and it does help them to ingest food, which they need to get themselves stronger. I'm
in a state where medical marijuana is legal, and my only problem is that there's a lot of loopholes with the term medical marijuana. So that's why I feel it should just either be completely legal or not. Because right now, at least in California, the way that it sits, it's a little bit it's not exactly defined. Like, people who are not really sick can get medical marijuana, but yet people who have real medical conditions, their insurance isn't going to cover medical marijuana. You can't write a prescription for it and go pick it up at the Walgreens like everything else. So to me, it's just, I think that they need to redefine the terminology or the rules and how it's distributed and dispensed, because the way it is right now, it's just basically a glorified drug front. I mean, basically.
And I understand that, but I do also understand. The state that Will and I are from did not pass it this go-around. They lost by something like 3% of the vote.
Right.
And someone on Facebook put out there, yeah, we won, blah, 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 this is great. And, somebody posted behind them, and I wish it would have been me, but the post was, no, you did not win. The drug dealers won. Because the people who are using marijuana now that you're trying to stop using marijuana are still going to do it. All you did right here is take it away from the people who needed it.
See, that's exactly how I feel, too.
Actually, it was voted upon, but it didn't. But Florida, whenever they make an amendment to their to a law, it has to pass by 60%, and I think they only had like 57.
They had 57%. Yeah, exactly. It was 57%. They lost by 3%. Mm-hmm. And the sad thing is, you know what? And the way that this guy posted it, it was very intelligent. And, I mean, it took me back for a second because, there's a big difference between marijuana and a lot of the other street drugs. I mean, there's a big difference between marijuana and cocaine and methamphetamine.
Right.
My ex is, or was, I don't know now because I no longer speak with her, but was a meth head.
Oh, dear.
And there's a big difference in the attitude and, the lifestyles and things like that.
Well,
I know a lot of people who are...
But also the lengths that they will go to get the drug.
Exactly.
And that, to me, there's a huge methamphetamine problem in the town where I live in Central California. And there's definitely a difference between potheads and tweakers. A pothead is probably not going to do anything more than jack your Cheetos. I mean, that's pretty much your only fear with a pothead. Like,
when's the last time you heard somebody get shot? Right. When's the last time you heard somebody get shot over marijuana?
Yeah. Well,
or when's the last time you heard somebody that was, growing 2 plants and their house blew up and spread poison throughout, 12 other apartments?
And killed 2 kids because of the blow up. So that's there definitely needs to be guidelines and everything else, just like anything else if we make it legal.
Right.
But I think it's gotten past the point where I think most people, even if they don't smoke, they're pretty much accepting of the fact that it is something that people do, and it's been found to be relatively harmless compared to harder drugs. So I think at this point it's just let it be what it is, and let people who want to get stoned have it, and then people who are sick can get it in a proper manner, because that's my thing.
Exactly.
I'm more an advocate of sick people getting what they need, and I don't see them getting what they need the way that it's set up this way.
And I agree with you there, 100%.
I see a lot of people with fake-ass headaches going to these so-called doctors. Oh, well, fill me out a card for a marijuana prescription because I got a headache on the way over here. And poof, now they have a card.
To be honest with you, in this day and age, though, I'd much rather someone say they had a headache and get a bag of weed from a doctor than go to a doctor with a headache and get a bottle of pain pills, because that's the biggest killer of people right now.
What I'm saying is these doctors that they're going to, I'm explaining how it's set up in my state. They're not exactly going to their own doctors, because that's like any other prescription that insurance covers, and every one of us who goes to doctors and has a prescription for something, we have to go see our own doctor for them to say, look, this person needs this medication. And the way that it's set up now, you just go to doctors that you find in particular advertisements. So you could go to any one of them who advertise, and to me that's a little shady. It's just, there needs to be, the guidelines need to be that if you're sick and this is what you require, then your own doctor needs to write you a prescription that you pick up at the pharmacy with all your other prescriptions.
Exactly. You don't need Exit 79 Medical Clinic. Right, it's different going to your own doctor than going to Exit 79 Medical Clinic and getting you a,
and it's not,
dime bag.
If you've ever been by one of these places, it's just a smoke shop. That's all it is. It's not, there's nothing clinic, there's no medical tables, there's no doctors in white coats at these places. So that's why I think the whole thing is kind of a sham, and they need to just legalize it altogether so stoners can get high and people who are really sick can get what they need without this shit cock-blocking them, so to speak, because that's really all it is. Really
exactly, and I understand that. I mean, and I think, I mean, you look at places like Colorado where crime's gone, violent crime, since they've legalized marijuana, violent crime's gone down by 27%.
Because everyone's too stoned to do anything.
Exactly.
They get high and they're just like, I don't really feel like going out and.
It's like the late great Robin Williams once said. He was telling a story about Shaun White, and Shaun White lost a Olympic medal because he had marijuana in the system, which the Olympic Committee considered a performance-enhancing drug. And Robin Williams, in his greatness, said the only way that marijuana would have been a performance-enhancing drug for Shaun White if they put a huge Hershey bar at the end of the run.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he was a competitive eater, I could see, if he was Kobayashi, I could see where that would be a problem.
Be like, dude, man,
that's a performance
I just smoked 3 fucking bowls, dude. I'm ready to eat some fucking hot dogs. Let's go, Nathan's. Woo!
I could see where that's a problem. But, yeah.
Actually, I think that I think that actually was the issue in the whole Ricky Williams thing. I think maybe he had he was smoking his weed, and he actually may have had a Hershey bar or something like that, like in his football helmet.
He was like, dude, man, if I get a touchdown, I get a Hershey bar, okay, dude? No, the problem was, dude, he was a running back in the. No, the problem was he was a running back in the NFL, and every time he smoked, he ate a bag of Cheetos, and he was gaining weight and wasn't as fast as he was. Dude, quit eating, keep running.
Yeah, I would think that's a performance.
That's why when Mark Sanchez, who was with the Jets at the time, was actually seen on the sideline eating a hot dog. That's why that he got fined for that. They thought
right.
Dude, they're gonna know you're smoking, dude. Put the hot dog down, all right? Your name's Sanchez. God. You should be eating a burrito, right? Pass the bowl.
I know, right?
Pass the bowl. They're walking around with that little mask thing like it's oxygen. No, it's a fucking hookah.
Oh my God!
And all that.
But no, I mean, in all honestly, seriously, I mean,
go ahead. Finish your thought.
I just said, in all honestly, I really believe that it should be legalized. I mean, it's not any more harmful than alcohol is. It's actually probably
less because who's gotten killed recently by a stone driver. It just doesn't happen because stone people don't drive.
No, dude. They might do 20 miles under the speed limit. You just get mad at them.
The only reason a
stone driver got killed is because a drunk guy behind him got mad because he's trying to get home and shot him.
Yeah, exactly.
With road raging. But I'm gonna fuck you up, dude.
Damn it.
You must fucking play bass, you fucker. Shoot you. Put down the blonde guitar pick, you 4-stringer.
It was Don Dockett.
It was. How'd you know? You know what? That's it. That's it. Did I sound just like him?
Probably.
That's my next job right there. I'm going to do voiceovers.
I don't even know what his voice sounds like.
Either do I, really. When he's talking. I mean, I know when he sings, sounds like a bitch. I'm just kidding.
I'm kind of inclined to agree with you, actually.
Hey.
I mean, he makes himself out to be a way better singer than he really is. Let's just put it that way. He's not a bad singer, but he's not a great singer.
No, you know what the problem is? You know what the problem is with his voice? There's not enough bass in it.
Yeah, there's stuff coming out of it. Yeah, he doesn't have enough bass.
I love it. And I just came up with that. That was so funny. God, good.
But now he's fixed that because he's got a bass player that sings. So, eventually you're not going to need him anymore.
Next time he does a show, he's going to hear this show and he's going to come out on stage like, hello, my name's Don Dawkins.
Anyway, let's play the first song by our guest.
Figaro.
Beyond from Murderfly. This song's called Meet the Concrete. Sounds like a...
It sounds awesome right there, dude. That's what my 11-year-old just told this kid the other day.
Meet the concrete.
Somebody, meet the concrete.
Awesome.
Anyway.
That's the song.
Look, and you know what? I'm trying to make my kid do better, and I'm talking shit like, look, man, whoop his ass, buddy. Go ahead. And look, if you're going to school, if you're going to be kicked out of school for 60 days, make it worth it, dude. Come on. Should have busted his fucking mouth open. So he got all his teeth still?
No wonder you
60
beat
days.
you up.
It's 60 days, bro.
All right, this is meet the concrete by Murderfly. We'll be right back on the Will and Thunder Show.
Love you, people.
All right, welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. That, of course, was our guest, Murderfly. And here with us right now is the guitar player for the band Beyond. And if he will just press 1.
I already patched him in.
Are you there, Beyond?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Oh, excellent.
What's going on, man? Welcome on.
How's it going? Yeah, I called the first time, and I was just listening to Murderfly. I was like, wow, I'm calling to listen to myself. This is very interesting.
Welcome to the show, man.
I know what's going on.
Oh, we're here. We're partying.
We're just chilling, having a good time, man. Well, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, is that Kevin?
It is.
Oh, cool, man. That's guys. I haven't talked to you in forever.
Man, it's been forever and a day, brother. Good to hear from you, man. I see you on Facebook all the time, man. And let me tell you, your posts are fantastic, brother.
Well, thanks. I enjoy making people laugh. You know, I guess that's part of being an entertainer. You know, if I can make people laugh, you know, it's just great. It's a really good way of healing people.
It is, and on top of that, it's very philosophical because I understand some of these posts sometimes, and I look at them like, you know what? Well said, brother. Well said. And you can't fix stupid. You can't fix stupid sometimes, and I just love your perspective on things.
Well, thank you. some people don't get it. I do know. I mean, I've always had a very dark, sarcastic sense of humor, and it'll never change. That's just part of who I am, So, but most people actually do get it. People that especially people that know me, they
exactly,
they get it.
Exactly.
There's more thought into what I do than some people would expect. It's not just mindless, gibber. There's a point to everything I do.
Exactly. And I remember seeing you with your prior band and some of your stage antics. And yes, there is a lot put into the thought process before you do something. It may seem mindless at the first moment, but when you look into it and you philosophize or deep in thought about it, it all makes sense. Perfect sense.
Right. Well, I'm glad you understand.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Chris here. Beyond, meet Chris. Chris, meet Beyond.
Hi, Beyond. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Oh, hello. I didn't even hear the third voice.
I said welcome a few minutes ago. I'm the one who patched you in.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I don't know. I didn't know what was going on. Like, I just kind of clicked over.
Yeah, they were looking for you. I'm like, nah, I got him.
I wasn't
She's
sure
our sense of reasoning. She's our sense of reasoning on the show.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was listening to like a recording or I didn't know what was happening. But hello, how's it going?
Pretty good. Your band, I liked your band there. It sounded like a nice Sepultura meets Biohazard thing going on there.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
Yeah, pretty. I write about 90 to 95% of the music, and I'm into a lot of different styles. So,
right.
I try to, let as much of my influences come out as I can.
Mhm.
Man, Murderfly has been around for a while now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you guys been around?
Well, we started the band in early 2009.
Okay.
The singer Bo and I met him and we were at another project before Murderfly. It never really went anywhere, but he was singing. I was the bass player, and we had a drummer and a guitarist, but it just never really kicked off. We didn't do any shows. We didn't even have a name. We just had we were together for maybe a month just practicing and working on stuff, and it just kind of fizzled, so to speak. And so Bo and I wanted to continue working with each other, so I told him, look, what we can do, we'll have you sing. I will get my buddy Tim, who he didn't know at the time. I was like, get my buddy Tim to play bass. I'll get my guitarist. I was in another band at the time called Fleshweld. So, which Fleshweld, we were pretty much on an indefinite hiatus at the moment. But it's like, I'll get my guitarist from Fleshweld to play guitar, and since drummers are the hardest thing to find, I'll play drums. So I was actually the original drummer for Murderfly. I just wrote all the music. And we did shows like that. And I would say we got together, the first lineup was 2009. And then, the beginning of 2009. And then I ended up moving overseas to Wales. And I was playing in two bands out there.
Oh, okay.
So while I was gone, I told him, it's okay, you can keep playing my music, but if you record my music without me, please give me my written credit, because otherwise I have to take, legal action. But I ended up coming back, and they got a drummer while I was already, before I came back to America. So I just ended up just jumping on the guitars, and it was pretty easy transaction because I already wrote pretty much all the music anyways. So I just jumped on the guitar, and so that's when we became a five-piece.
Oh, cool.
And just a little shout-out right there to another friend of ours out there, your former guitar player who's a buddy of ours.
Todd,
yeah.
Todd and I have been in bands together for a long time. But
Fleshweld and, Murderfly together. And Todd's a great guy, man.
Yeah, I was in Blindside with him, too. Even though I was temporary, but I played bass for Blindside way back in the day. But
with Mike Dirks and that,
I played bass for Blindside as well, briefly.
I think even Bootsy Collins probably played bass for Blindside.
I'm the only one who never played bass for Blindside.
Everyone.
Chris played for Blindside.
I played bass for about 5 minutes just about an hour ago.
Chris.
I'm the only one who never played with Blindside, but I played with Mike before, So
yeah, Blindside went through bass players' house, Spinal Tap, go see drummers, But
seriously,
Spinal Tap.
Yeah,
they were many. They did, and Blindside was a good band back in the day. Their style and everything, but they did. They had a different bass player every week. It was like Girlfriends back in the day.
Exactly.
Like, oh, I like her. I'm gonna be with her this week, and next week, you know what? I'm gonna give me another girl. You know, it was just crazy.
It was pretty out of control. But yeah, as far as Murderfly, we started early 2009, but I departed for a while, and then came back.
Now,
so
would you tell us a little bit of what prompted the Wales trip and everything? And, what went on while you were there and everything.
Well, for a long time, I mean, I always felt that I would do better in music overseas somewhere. Like because. Gosh, this is going to probably sound really bad, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm beyond it. I say whatever I feel. The music scene in America, to me, is kind of, I don't know, a bunch of sheep. And what I mean by that is, there'll be one type of music that's, like, really huge for, like, a couple of years, and then something else comes out, and then something else, I don't know.
We were just talking about that on our show last week, about how pop music has such a short shelf life these days.
Right,
and it's not music that's built to last anymore like it used to be.
And I always knew I would do better, somewhere else, but I was always afraid to go by myself. Finally, I had enough. I got ticked off in general, and whenever I get angry, I do positive things. I use my anger more as fuel to accomplish my goals and my missions. And I told myself, like, okay, I'm out of this country in 2 years. I set myself a date, and I picked out like 7 different countries. Some of these countries I had already been to before, but I picked out 7 different countries. I did a lot of research, looking into this, looking into that, and I settled on Wales. Was
there a reason why in particular?
Excuse me?
Was there a particular reason why you settled there as opposed to other places you were?
I found out that Wales has a better music scene than a lot of people think.
Oh, okay.
They have a very good metal scene. I mean, bands like Skin Dread are from there, Bullet for My Valentine. They have a lot more going out there than people think. Everyone thinks that all the bands that come out of the UK are from England, and that's very untrue.
Right.
Wales has a
we know that
scene.
we know that well because we've talked to quite a few bands from around the world, and you get to the areas like Finland and things like that. That's the true. Real metal scene is, that upper UK area.
Right, yeah. And also I wanted to be in colder weather because I can't stand the weather in Florida, except for right now I'm digging it,
right.
Because it's nice
Freezing
and cold.
my nuts up.
But yeah, I pretty much, I picked out Wales, and I picked out Cardiff, which is the capital. And, I told myself, like, when I get there, if I don't like it, I'll try another city. If I don't like the country at all, I'll try another country. The thing that's like beautiful about the countries over there, they're all so small and close together that it's easy to move around. Whether by train or whatever.
It's like driving from state here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, driving from Wales to England, it'd be like going from Florida to Georgia, really.
Now, and I have a quick question for you though. So when you went over there, you had no band that you were going to play with. You just kind of
I didn't know. I'd never been there before. I didn't know anybody, nothing. I was going on this on a site. It was like a classified site, for musicians looking for musicians, this and that in that area. So one of the bands
you just kind of picked up and moved over there without any plan or anything. You're like, dude, look, man, I want to go play music over here. I'm gonna go meet some guys when I get there. And where'd you stay when you got there?
I stayed in a flat, in it's like a studio flat. It was just one room. Very small, but that's fine with me. I actually prefer small confined places.
Yeah.
But
in a strange way, and I know that I remember coming to your house one time. This is years and years ago in Rockledge, right there. Is it Barton Boulevard right there?
Don't give us about his address, jeez.
Right. No. This is 30 years ago.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, I remember the way your room was set up right there, and it was the room wasn't small, but the way it was set up right there, and you with the speakers and everything, and you had your flags hanging up everywhere. And I understand what you're saying right there. It's so much better right there when you have everything around you.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a beta fish. I don't need a big aquarium. Just put me in a little bowl, and I'm fine.
Right. Put everything that inspires me around me, where I can see it and I can feed off it, and that's all I need.
Well, like one of the bands I ended up becoming the drummer for, 9 Times Dead, they found me through the site. They contacted me. This was back when I was using MySpace. They already had heard me,
right.
Well, actually, That was actually the band I ended up becoming. Sorry, I said that wrong. That was the band I ended up becoming the singer for. They already heard my voice. They already seen videos of me. They already liked me. So they contacted me, I think, like a week and a half before I got out there. You know, hey, you still come out the well? Like, yeah. Like, okay, well, contact us when you get settled in. So I did. But on my second day there, another band, Fury of the Waters, that I ended up becoming the drummer for, they contacted me asking, hey, are you still coming to Wells? Like, oh, I'm already here. So I had both auditions in the same day. I auditioned with Fury of the Waters. Gosh, it was like really early in the morning, like 7 o'clock in the morning, which is very unmetal. And you know, they're like, you know, they liked me, and they're like, we have a gig in a week and a half. You know, can you do it? Oh yeah, no problem. You know, I think I had to learn like 12 songs a week and a half. That's no problem. Then I went to my second audition, and I got that. They had a show in 2 weeks. Like, hey, can you do it? Like, yeah, sure. So I had a lot of homework to do between the two bands. I didn't really have any time off. I pretty much moved to Wells and was playing. I was already on stage in like a week and a half. You know, with
That's
the first
awesome,
band,
man.
and then a few days after that, I'm on stage with the other band. So there was no break. I had no time off, nothing. I just went there, and I learned very quick that I was right about getting further. I've actually, when I was over there, I made it further in like 3 to 4 months than I have here since I've been back in America.
Well, you know, and the one thing is, you know what, you kind of been limited by the area you're in. I mean, back in the day, there was a little music scene in Central Florida, especially the area, you know, in Brevard County, was a big music scene for a moment. But, I mean, you get into the late 90s right there, it really slowed down a lot. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, when Dead Serious disappeared and you know, bands like the Tin Can Jets and AWOL and all that disappeared, the Scooby-Doos, and I mean, it really slowed down a lot, man. Brassie's disappeared, and you could play at the Hustler or you could play at Ground Zero. I mean, there was very few, and even the places you played, like the Hustler, was a hole-in-the-wall bar. Ground Zero was a coffee shop that sold beer.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was a cool venue, man. It was fun. It was fun. We all had blast playing there.
Yeah,
you know, had fun playing together there. But it wasn't the place that you were going to get noticed at.
No, not one bit. I mean, I got into the scene 24 years ago. I know I'm kind of showing my age when I say that, but I started out just very, very young. You know, I was a kid. You know, I started playing clubs when I was 16. So, and I saw it slowly dying. I was just, you know, just slowly just watching it just fade away. You know, there was one point I went out to Texas for a while, and I was playing in a fine band out there called Nocturne, but that band just kind of fell apart. I won't get into why, but there was just, I just say there was a lot of just turmoil. Like, they were already a band. I joined them and kind of like, wow, this seems like it's about to fall apart. So I left, and a year later it fell apart. So, you know, Florida has always been more of my my safety net more than anything else. You know, it's where I retreat from. Retreat to. Well, if I go away.
The one thing with Florida is, I mean, the musicianship there and the family of musicians is there, but the scene of people getting signed is, you know, far and few in between right there. They, you know, you remember like Grumpy was right on the edge right there, and nothing ever happened. Same with Dead Serious, it never happened. Same with AWOL, but it never happened. I mean, there was just, it's always on the verge right there. You play one show with, you know, a big band here and there, or you get over to Tampa or whatever. It's always had that mystique right there of being a music state right there. You know, there's a lot of great musicianship, especially in that Central Florida area. You go coast to coast right there. You can even get the centers right there in DeLand and stuff like that. You know, little clubs and everything. But it's all just it's like they want to keep it local music.
Yeah, and see, I don't like to be limited, ever.
I understand that.
That's just a general statement, you know. I like to be all over the place, you know. I enjoy, you know, touring. I've been on, you know, big tours before for long periods of time. Well, not like, you know, like a band like Seven Dust or Metallica, but I have been on the road for like, you know, 2-3 months at a time. And it's rough. I mean, it's not as glamorous as people think it is.
Exactly.
I enjoy the traveling. I enjoy just getting out there, you know. Staying in one spot, you know, one city, one county, even one state, one country, that's not enough for me. I got to be out there doing it. You know, that's
I mean, well, you got to think, right, you've been doing this for 24 years, man, and and you had a great impact on the music industry, or especially the music culture in Brevard County, man. Your first, not your first band, but the first band I knew you from, Cryogenic.
Yeah, that was my first band.
Great band, and you know, you had that attitude from get-go, saying, guess what? This is who we are, this is who I am, and watch me. I'm going to show you something that you've never seen before.
Yeah, that's pretty much, that was it. I think I had that band going for 11 years. I finally called it quits with that band only because we were going through so many different, you know, it was always like lineup changes constantly, you know. Not by choice, just certain people just weren't working, and I got to a point I was like, okay, I'm kind of done, you know, and then that's when I started Fleshweld, and Fleshweld was pretty much cursed with the same problem, you know.
Right.
I picked some pretty bad people to jam with at certain times. Some were great, you know, some were not, different reasons.
Right.
I mean, like the first lineup of Fleshweld was just insane, you know, as far as, you know, I had John Wells, the drummer from Fleshy Headed Mutants. I had Kerry Starr, the bassist from AWOL. I had Doug Gibson, the guitarist from Dead Serious, and then it was me from Cryogenic. You know,
that right there is the most ridiculous lineup. Now,
I mean,
all right. Now, first of all, the first person you mentioned, and I'm sorry, what was
John
the name
Wells.
of the band again? What was the name of the band?
Fleshweld.
No, not Fleshweld. No, Fleshy Headed Mutants. Yes, I remember.
Fleshy Headed Mutants, yes.
The crazy band right there.
Yeah.
And first of all, one of my idols of all time right there, when I started playing bass guitar, I was 14 years old. And AWOL was a huge thing in the area right there. It's still when Eric Mankey was playing with them and Pete Brado came into them. But Kerry Starr sat down with me and showed me just a few things. I'd been playing music in school, playing various instruments, and I've always been in love with music. Well, I started playing bass guitar. And, you know, me and Kerry sat down for a while. It was unbelievable. That guy was the most amazing, a local guy, man. He just lived in the town and could slap bass like Louis Johnson. It was ridiculous good.
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely.
And then you get Doug Gibson, who is, Dead Serious, one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, and Doug is actually one of my favorite guitar players. And I'm not
classically trained. He can play classical music like you. And people don't understand. And a lot of people who know Dead Serious don't understand how good Doug is.
Yeah.
Doug, he could sit there and finger pick on a acoustic guitar and play music that'll make you cry right there. And when he throws the metal edge to it, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was an honor, that those guys even wanted to jam with me. As far as I'm not talking down about myself, but I used to
you shouldn't because
I used to be, a roadie for AWOL and Dead Serious back when I was 15, 16 years old. You know what I mean? So I was like a kid, like looking up to these guys, idolizing them, and then all of a sudden, years down the road, these guys are wanting to start a band with me. I'm like, really? Okay, that's cool. I guess I stepped up a little bit.
I can see right now, like, I was a big Dead Serious fan and still am to this day. Mm-hmm. And Chris Long, we've talked to him on the show many times, Deadly, and he is the quintessential frontman.
Yes. And
I can see his inspiration in, like, when you're on stage, when you were in Cryogenic, it was a show to you. As much as it was a vocal show, you wanted to entertain. And that's such a big thing that a lot of people don't have. There's a lot of people that don't understand the combination of, when I'm a front man, I'm not just the singer of this band right here. I'm the focal point vocally and entertainment-wise. What the guitar player and the bass player does when they're standing on the, jump up on an amp right there, or they put their leg up and they're banging their heads, is one thing. But it's me and what I say in between songs and all that, and you have that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, for those of us who aren't from Florida, can you guys kind of explain a little bit of what you guys are talking about right here? Like, these are all, the groups you've just mentioned are all, like, local Florida bands. That
yes, exactly. And I'm sorry about that.
None of them.
There's 49 other states, and I live in one of them, so
well,
I was trying to keep up with the discussion.
I would say that the four bands that I mentioned at that time, AWOL, Dead Serious, Fleshy Headed Mutants, and Cryogenic, that's pretty much, we're pretty much like a power group, almost like, gosh, it's not, it's going to sound so egotistical. I'm not meaning to come off this way, but you know how you have like the big four, you know, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax.
Right, but for your area
pretty,
and your genre.
For our area, Cryogenic, Flesh-Headed Mutants, AWOL, and Dead Serious are kind of like the big four. Not in that order. Not in that order, but so we were getting gigs before we even had a demo or anything. All I had to do.
So you guys have like a lot of shared history and a lot of
exactly when people
interchanging in each other's bands and whatnot.
When people learn like, you know, like, oh my gosh, you know, Fleshwell has members from this band, that band, you know, like there's no need to even listen to a demo. Just
right, exactly.
You know,
it was the Florida or the Brevard County super band. You know, when you take it, like, you look at these days when you like Billy Sheehan got together with Ingve Malmsteen and, you know,
so
this, that, and
like,
other thing.
Just to give a bit of an example, kind of like the Guns N' Roses syndrome of the 80s. Like, it was a bunch of different bands, like Hollywood Rose and LA Guns. They just all kind of came together and splintered off and formed these other groups.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Okay. I got that's my region, so I'm trying to think of something that's comparable to that. And okay, now I get it.
That's pretty much
following
what
right along.
exactly happened.
Okay.
But yeah, so you know that was pretty much that's how Fleshwell, you know, started out, and you know Fleshwell had many of hiatuses. You know, again, just things that's not working out for different reasons. You know, member changings and stuff like that.
Right.
Some of the reasons were because of me. There was one time, you know, like I said, I went out to Texas to join Nocturne. There was the other time when I, you know, moved to Wells. So I've
heard of that band. I don't know where I've heard of them before.
Yeah, I've heard of them too.
Nocturne.
Oh, Nocturne? Oh, yeah, out of Plano, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not from Texas, so.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know where I've heard of them before.
Now, Benny, quick question real quick. Bass player, and my mind just quit working right there. You know who I'm talking about, Will, right there. Good friend of ours who had the stroke a month ago. He played with Fleshwell, didn't he?
Chris Gifford.
Chris, thank you. It was Chris.
Yeah, he played. Yeah, he was the last bassist of Fleshwell.
Right. Are you still in contact with him?
Yeah. Yeah.
How's he doing, by the way?
He seemed to be fine. I don't really see him that often. You know,
right.
Last time I saw him was probably about 2 months ago. He seemed like he was fine. You know, but I think if I want to understand, a lot of the health problems that he has runs through his family. So
right. I understand that, you know, and we've known Chris for a long time, right there.
Yeah,
as well. I was just asking you. And as I said, I don't talk to him much. I just see him on Facebook. Exactly.
Yeah, I see him on Facebook. I don't really talk to him on the phone. I seldom ever like run into him or anything. No reason, just you know, opposite schedules, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I still you know keep in contact with him, you know, like online and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as I know, he's doing okay. I hope so.
That's scary stuff when.
It is, man. You get up in the 40s right there, and you know all of us are up in that age right there, and this is a time where your knees start hurting when you go to, and I'm not in a band anymore, but I remember the days where you're sitting there, you're setting up equipment right there, and you're trying to take chords down on the floor. I can't imagine trying to get up off my knees right now, as I'm doing it right there.
Yeah, like I was saying, after 24 years of doing what I still continue to do, the thrash around, the headbanging, jumping off of drum risers, and just the whole nine. Yeah, I'm in pain pretty much all the time. And every time I do a show, it's like, okay, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that, but I have a job to do, so I do it. I pay for it afterwards.
Right. But you know what? Then you have to go ahead.
But at the same time, if I do a show, if I'm not in pain, if I don't feel nauseous, if I'm still able to walk correctly, I didn't do a good job.
And that's what I'm saying right there. I went and saw. My brother had an extra ticket for Aerosmith, which is not one of my favorite bands by any means.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and I saw them.
You better not say that.
I know, because I get divorced. But anyway, hopefully my wife's not listening because she fucking thinks Steven Tyler's God. But anyway, big lip fucker.
I just keep thinking of that episode of 2.5 Men where he beats the shit out of Charlie Sheen. Steven Tyler.
Anyway, I went and saw them live, and this son bitch was 55 at the time I saw him. He's got to be 110 now. But he ran around the stage for 3 fucking hours. I'm like, I know you're doing fucking coke because, look, man, I was 30 at the time. Like, I can't run around that far, that fast, and talk, much less fucking sing like you're doing. Either you're lip syncing and doing fucking jazzercise right now, or you're fucking, you're fucking Superman. I don't fucking know what's going on here. But I mean, in all honesty, I mean, that's the lifestyle. That's how you have to be, especially as an entertainer. Look, you can't just go up on stage and play guitar, and as a singer can't hide behind a mic stand and be like, oh, I'm just gonna sing. You can do that if you're in a fucking lounge in, L.A. In a supper club somewhere. But
like whenever doing a show, or whatever, and I'll watch a band playing, and they're just standing there. I'm like thinking to myself, how can you just stand there? You know what I mean? Like, God, you look boring. And a lot of these bands that I'm talking about are young guys, like, in their late teens, early 20s. I'm like, okay, I'm almost 40, and I run circles around all of you guys.
The funny thing about it.
I feel that way.
As expensive as concert tickets are, I admit I want to see somebody, look animated up on stage. If I'm putting out good money to see a show, I don't want you to just stand there.
Exactly.
I can listen to my
Here's the deal right here. If your music does not make you want to jump around, why am I going to jump around?
Exactly.
If your music does not get you going, why am I going to be interested? If I go to a show and there's 4 guys standing on a stage, look, I mean, I'm not at the opera right here. I'm not here at the symphony right now. This is rock and roll music.
Right.
Get up, jump around. I want to see the bass player jump around, and I want him to go talk to the bass player and, to the guitar player and bump shoulders or some shit. Look at the drummer, jump around, do your shit. I want the singer to be live and, moving it's just being crazy because I want to see a show. I want to see that the music that you're playing right there.
Right, and also
makes you want to move because, when I'm at home and I want to put your music on because I have to clean the fucking house right now and I don't want to clean the house right now. Well, if I put Murderfly on right now, it's going to pump me the fuck up. And now I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go. I can do whatever the fuck. Right.
And also for me, it doesn't matter if there's 4 people in the crowd or 4,000. I'm going to do the same show.
Right.
Most people that I that I know as far as musicians do not have the same attitude that I have when it comes to that. Like if it's a dead crowd or if there's just not that many people there, they do more like a half-ass show, and I think that's a bunch of rubbish.
Yeah, that's wrong.
You know what I mean? Like there could be 2 people out there. Like, okay, I'm going to give those 2 people a show.
Yeah,
you took your time to come see me,
like you're playing a
and you know what?
Exactly. And it's all because, and my band members hate when I say this, but I say it anyway because it is what it is. I have a job to do. It is a job to me.
Well, those 2 people, their money matters just as much as 40,000 people who put in money to. They put their hard-earned money in just as much as anybody else going to see Aerosmith or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do definitely agree that bands need to put as much effort into their shows, no matter how many people are playing or lack thereof. And
that's the way it should be all the time.
And you never know who's in the audience watching either. You never know if there's one or 2 people in the audience is somebody that's going to change your life forever by being that person who just gets so much into your music that they want to get behind you or that they want to do something to further your career. You never know. That's why it's also important to play your ass off to whoever.
Right. And especially with local bands like that, you never know that some guy from California who's got billions of dollars in his pocket, you put on the best show he's ever seen, and he may not be a record exec or whatever, but he's got the financials to push you through somewhere. Look, man, I love what you did. And especially if you do a show like that in front of, 10, 12 people right there, and you put your all into it, that shows that you're determined.
You're going to wonder what you're like at 100 people or at 1,000 people.
Yep.
And that's the smartest thing to do right there.
I gotta I gotta interrupt this. Beyond I love you and everything, but it's been like all business and everything. So it's been all business. You're a businessman and rightfully so. But we're gonna lighten the mood a little bit. We want to hear about your Spinal Tap moments because I know you got them. You were.
Do we have another song? Do we have another song we can play? Because I kind of need to take a break real quick, and I thought maybe if you had a song to play, we could when we get back after the song, we could.
Why don't we play a song, then we'll do Spinal Tap moments.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
And we can.
Someone has to pee.
I don't even know where to start.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I do. I do. I have to pee. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a drop.
It'd be awesome.
We're
go ahead.
playing
I'm confused. What's going on?
We're gonna go ahead and play it. Play your next song, and
okay.
And then when we come back from that, we'll finish the show.
Okay.
All right.
So am I just hanging on?
Yeah.
Yeah, just hang on, man.
I'll put you guys on hold right now in the song.
And by the way, Beyond, I have tried so hard tonight not to call you by the name I know you, but I'm going to say Beyond every night. I'm doing my best right here because, as a buddy right here, I want to say, oh, by the way, this is definitely a test.
I'm not going to get mad or anything.
You get a treat after the show, Thunder. We'll get your milk bone after the show. All right, so let's rock it out. Let's hear the song.
Really, I do.
Thanks,
okay.
Guys. All right.
This song's called Reflect. This is Murderfly on the Will and Thunder Show. We'll be right back. everybody. Welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. That, of course, was our guest, Murderfly, with the song Reflect. How fitting that we had a Spinal Tap moment right there, right before we set up the Spinal Tap moment segment. My computer froze on me for like a second, right when the song was ending.
I was trying to grab the applause button, too, and the same thing happened to me.
Yeah, I heard it went like blank. I was like, okay, I just get hung. I didn't know what happened. I thought like it got hung up on or something, and then it came back.
No, our show is filled with Spinal Tap moments.
It's almost built on it. It's almost built on Spinal Tap moments. Honestly, we are the Spinal Tap of radio.
This is true.
It's very true.
Now,
but we're also a magical show, so you never know what it's going to be with us.
Right.
That's right.
You never know what you're going to get.
Well, we have a little intro that we did for the Spinal Tap moments, and I'm just going to play that right now.
All right.
Please go to 11. You can't press that. Spinal Tap, 5 seconds. What's wrong with being sexy? He died in a bizarre gardening accident. Thousands of people spontaneously combust each year.
Hello, Cleveland! Hello, Cleveland!
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. But before we get into it, I mean, Christiana, you've heard me and Thunder talk about our crowning achievement as far as Spinal Tap moments is concerned, because we've actually lived a Spinal Tap moment that was actually in the movie. About about the guitar player throwing his guitar down and storming off stage. Well,
yes, I was there. I watched that.
You were there. Yes, you were.
I was outside when that happened.
Yes.
Well, have you had any moments like that?
Not like that. I mean, most of my moments have been just like my crazy stage antics, in theatrics and stuff like that. But I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind as far as a Spinal Tap moment was when I was with Nocturne, and we were playing at it was called the Red Soda in Montreal, Canada, and I was sleeping in the RV. I had a lot to drink the night before, and I was just pretty much just passed out. Well, my singer, she comes in. Like, hey, we're getting ready to go on the stage pretty soon. She wakes me up. I get ready, this and that. I go in the dressing room, and I'm just sitting there. And we used to use a lot of fog, like for our intro. So I'm sitting backstage, and I started hearing our intro music playing. And the stage was so fogged, they didn't realize I wasn't even behind the drum. I wasn't even on the stage. And I hear it. And see, I had never even been inside the place because I didn't have to do my, sound check or anything. We had roadies and stuff like that. So I hear, I'm like, oh, my God, they're playing without me. So I start running up these stairs. Halfway up the stairs, I realize that I don't know where I'm going. So
oh, my God.
So I run back down, and I think it was, his name was Bill, too. He was a bassist in a band called Single Bullet Theory because they were on the tour with us. And like, where's the stage? How do I get to the stage? like, run back up those stairs. You'll see a door. Run down the hallway. Hang a right, and then you'll see another door. Right? Okay. And I'm running. I'm lost and I'm still drunk. And so I'm all out of my mind, disorientated. Finally, I find the stage. I get behind the drums. My band members never even missed me. They had no idea what I got there just in time to do a 4 count and start the first song.
Oh damn!
That is so awesome.
They didn't even know until after the show. I told them yeah, man, you guys need to make sure we're all on stage
here before we start this shit right here.
Yeah, just don't take for granted because I woke up that I'm up on the stage. I don't know anything. I'm drunk.
Well, that's freaking awesome. That's freaking awesome. Now we have.
That is kind of
so rock and
one
roll.
of the most Spinal Tap moments that we've had on the show.
And
we
have anyway.
We have two moments that have actually happened in the movie that we've talked about on the show. There's, of course, ours with Madstone, and then yours with with Nocturne.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question for you, Beyond. Do you still have the stop sign?
Yes, I do.
That is so awesome.
But it hasn't been used in years.
Wait a minute. I think I know where I heard of that band from.
Like
we've talked exactly. Okay, now you've heard of Cryogenic. We talked about Cryogenic and their stage play.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I've heard of Nocturne too. Chris, what were you saying?
I think I know why.
Well,
okay, why?
Yeah, I think I'm going to admit something about myself that I don't want anyone to know.
No, go ahead.
Did that band have anything to do with a reality show at one point or another? That's all you have to say, yes or no.
Yes, Nocturne. Yes.
Okay, I know exactly who you guys were.
Our singer was on there, and yes, she is like that in real life. And
really? Wow.
I won't say anything else about her because.
What was the show?
I know. You don't need to. You don't need to because I know exactly what you're talking about.
her and I did not get along very well on the road. Like when I joined them, I didn't know them. Like
right.
I was kind of like a hired gun. Found out that they needed a drummer. I sent them a demo and a picture of myself. They liked it. They sent me a CD of the set. It was like 10 or 12 songs. I learned it in a week, and I flew out to Texas, practiced with them for a week, and we were on the road.
Right.
And the best way to really
I think the picture did it right there.
Yeah,
the
best
sexy man.
Way to know,
well, no, go ahead.
The best way to know a person, like how they really are, is when you're living on a metal tube, going down the road for for like 3 months. It's like being like in a human aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her and I didn't get along very well, but the last show that we did, which was in San Antonio, did the show. I was in the RV by myself, and she came in. She didn't say these words, exactly, but she told me that that I was a really good guy, and she was sorry that her and I didn't get along very well, but I was like the best drummer that they ever had.
Oh,
and
okay.
we hugged. And we hugged.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like we didn't like each other. Probably still don't. But
right. I understand.
She finally is an open perspective right
Honestly,
there.
Honestly,
she finally gave
that's
me
my
the
realm
respect.
of knowledge that Will and Thunder brought me into the show. I specialize in female-fronted metal, and I'm going to be brutally honest. And when I saw that band on the show, I thought the band was great, but the singer sucked. And I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to lie.
That was after me, actually, because the band was broken up, and they got back together just to do that show.
Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know.
And
I thought they were all right. But
they replaced me with the drummer from Murder Dolls.
Oh, okay.
But
there's a lot of murder.
It was it was a mutual thing. We understood we didn't really care for each other, but the respect. She finally respected me. Like even though I didn't like her, I respected her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the two are not mutually exclusive.
But it took a while for her to catch on to that. And we were younger back then too. This was like
I have
11
a question
years ago.
here, man. How small is this world that we live in? That me and Will know you so well, and that there's a connection from you, Chris, right there. That right there.
I don't have any connection. I just watch.
And I said
TV.
right there again. Yes, I know. I said it 3. Bust my balls. I say the same thing all the time. But no, seriously,
special.
I wasn't even gonna bring that up because I try not to talk about her. You know what I mean? But
no. And honestly, I heard the name and I'm like, it sounds familiar, but I cannot figure out why. And then
I just let people know that that was the first time that I actually started to believe reality shows. I used to always think that they were all just actors and actresses. But when I actually saw her on there, it's like, that actually is how she is. At least back then.
Right.
I don't know how she is now.
What show was she on?
Excuse me?
What show was she on?
She was on the Bret Michaels Love. What was it called?
Okay.
Looking for love.
I understand. Looking for love with Bret Michaels or whatever. I work with a girl that's been on a reality show.
Rock of Love. It was Rock of Love. Yeah.
I actually work with a girl, and, I live in Tennessee, so I'm in redneck country now, and I might get shot tomorrow because I said redneck country. But
because you're a bass player?
I work. One of the bartenders that I work with, she's one of my colleagues right there, my bartenders. But she was on one of the reality shows right there with the Redneck Nation or whatever with Steve Austin, the Redneck show that was on CMT or whatever it was.
Cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Stone Cold. She was on that the first.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
No, and I know I did not touch him, Chris.
Redneck Challenge or something.
No, it was not the last one he did. That was the one where they were on the island right there. No, that's not where they're doing the challenges right there, where they're trying to live on the island. But yeah, my friend Kelly was on the show.
Redneck Survivor?
She didn't win. It was kind of like Survivor, but redneck version of it.
Yeah, Redneck Survivor, like Will just said.
Right, you know. They're like, there's something that came in from the ocean. It's roadkill. We're going to eat possum tonight.
That's what they said. Okay, hold my beer before they did all the stunts.
Exactly.
Yeah, famous last words. Hold my beer.
Hey guys, watch this.
Exactly.
Hold my beer.
You know what the funny thing is? Look,
well, no, actually, I mean, yeah, those reality shows are, you know, they do have real people because there's somebody here that lives in my town that was actually on the Flavor of Love show. I mean, she was like a mini celebrity around here for about 2 months. I mean, you'd see her at the store and she would buy stacks of magazines with herself on them, and yeah, it was pretty funny.
You know what the funny thing is? I grew up in Florida.
That's how you heard of my turn. But yeah, as far as the stock sign and all that stuff, pretty much when Cryogenic was over, I pretty much got all that out of my system. You know, as far as like a lot of the things that I used to do, like on stage and stuff like that, which I'm surprised I never got arrested for any of it.
Gutting yourself on stage, gutting yourself on stage.
Yeah, you know, repeatedly. It's just, you know, I'm just the type of person, you know, whenever I play, I express how I feel. Now, during those years in Cryogenic, I had a lot of issues, and that was my way of, I turned it into art and used it to entertain people. It grossed out people.
I have to interrupt real quick. I have to make the announcement. Basically, to everybody that's listening, the show is going to go off the air in about 2.5 minutes, but it'll continue to record, and I'll have the show in its entirety up on YouTube in the next day or two. So don't freak out.
I gotta take off pretty soon, actually.
Okay, well, I mean, in about 2 minutes, it's gonna it's gonna shut off. I mean, we'll finish up and everything, and wrap it up, and then the show in its entirety will be on YouTube.
Cool. So. We got time for another song at least, right?
No,
I only said 2.
Yeah, we only had 2.
Okay.
I didn't know how many. I had a very tough time before I gave you a call. I won't even get into it, but I was pretty much in a rush, but I still managed to call in at 11. So.
Well,
thank you for calling, and good job, man. And we understand, man. Dude, look, man, how rock and roll is that right there? That you know, you had some issues right there. You had some technical difficulties, and shit happens.
You made your commitments.
Well, like I said, you know, I have a job to do. You know.
And you know, so many quote unquote rock stars kind of forget that over the years. They just, you know, especially let's say for example people like Axl Rose who just show up to shows whenever the fuck he wants, and you know, oh well, you know, they're gonna see me anyway, so who cares when they show up? And I like that there's people out there who keep it professional and do realize that hey, the ticket says 8 o'clock. If this were a 9 to 5 job, I'd be fired if I showed up at 1:30 in the afternoon or whenever I felt like it. So I appreciate that there are people out there who remember that even though this is a fun job, it's still a job, and there's people that invest their hard-earned money into seeing you do what your job is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So thank you for that.
Not a problem. You're very welcome.
Well, man, I'm going to tell you something right now, man. It's been a long road, man. We started back in the day, man, playing music and just doing our thing. And now me and Will right here, we try to do this little radio show with our best friend Chris right here, the lady in black, who we love more than anything. It's so cool to have you on the show right here because this kind of brings us back to where we started, too.
I love
you
know,
like
too, by the way.
I asked you about the stop sign right there because that was one of my favorite things that you did back in Cryogenic right there.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm glad you still have it. And I'm glad it's hanging up right now because I felt bad for whoever that you paid to do that to come up on stage at that moment.
Say again, though?
That
was a buddy of mine, Brad, and he used to be a professional wrestler.
Well, you know, that was a perfect person for it.
But like independent though, like at the time, like during that time, he was wrestling for they were called CFW, I think it was called, Central Florida Wrestling. They're out of like the Melbourne area, so I trusted him to be able to do that, and I was a big wrestling fan during that time as well, and I just thought it was.
I was too.
Kind of funny, you know, to have a work like that, you know, like finish the show. All right, everyone, good night, whatever, and then have somebody come up with a metal stop sign and clock me over the head. And the first time we did it, I did something wrong. I forgot to close my mouth, because when you're getting hit in the head, like, you know, over the head with a metal sign, you're supposed to keep your mouth shut. And I forgot to do that. So when he hit me, my teeth hang together. And I just felt that actually hurt me more than the sign did. Like it just rattled.
Absolutely.
It rattled everything in my head, and I still took my bump and went down. And he even told me, he was like looking over at me, like he was still kind of like in character, so to speak. But you know, like looking at me like, oh, I think I might have hit him too hard. I think I might have killed him.
Oh no.
You know, and then later on, I told him what happened. You know, it was totally my fault. He gave me the proper instructions, what to do. I just forgot that little detail.
Well, you know what? Beyond,
that was really kind of fun.
Thank you for being on the show, man. Thank you for being a part of this,
Yes.
man, and taking a moment to reflect on, not just your life, not just your life, but it was. Go ahead.
Hold on.
No, because
beyond,
everyone knows. Huh?
Beyond talk, we're we're sitting here having like multiple like conversation clashes here, so yeah, that's kind of hard to do since we're not actually sitting in a studio looking at each other. But
right,
yeah, happens every week actually. But go ahead and say what you were trying to say.
Oh, I just want to say thank you all for having me on here. As anyone pretty much knows, I'm kind of the mysterious guy of Murderfly. I'm like the quiet guy of the band. I don't do interviews. I show up to shows shortly before I play. I play and I leave. It's not because I'm a rock star. It's because I'm anti-rock star. It's like when you get out of your day job, you want to hang out. That's how I look at it for me. I want to just play, and I gotta go. I've been doing it for so long. I'm just kind of exhausted. So it's not like a stuck-up thing or rock star crap. But I wanted to do this with you all. Yeah, I know. I wanted to do this with you all because, first of all, I've known Kevin and Bill for a long time, and this is more comfortable. I feel that everything that has been said will actually get used. One of the reasons why I tend not to do interviews is there's been cases where I've done like a 45-minute interview, like on camera, and then only like 5 minutes of it gets used, and they take out like a lot of really good information. There was one incident where I told how Murderfly even started, and it was taken out. Like, man, he just took the whole history out. So, so that's why I'm very picky on who I do interviews with. I haven't done one in, like I said, like 2 years, something like that. I kind of prefer to be I'm a pretty laid back, quiet guy, anyways. But but that's why I kind of wanted to do this. I felt a little more comfortable that the things I'm saying will actually get used.
We want to thank you first of all for taking your time and giving us the opportunity to do this, because you do know us, and you know that we're not going to edit you down or whatever, because we love you. We've been brothers in the music industry too. We played together and everything, and we want to hear what you want to say. That's the whole idea of this show that we're doing right now. So do me a favor right here and spread the word that, the Will and Thunder show, we're not playing music anymore right now. I mean, we're dealing with our families and we're doing our things, but this is how we can connect in the music industry right here. And getting people, huh? I'm not done yet either. I'm just saying right now. Right now, we're not playing. We're not in a band. We're, but you know what? It's guys like you, and that day at the coffee shop right there. You know, I remember that so much, and the stop sign. And I remember other things that, that I shouldn't say on the radio because
Yeah.
Will said I
the
got
Alabama Black Snake. Yeah,
the Alabama Black Snake, which I think was the greatest thing ever. That I'm not allowed to say on the radio right now because it might offend some people, which I think was the greatest thing that you've ever done.
Thunder, shut
don't get me wrong, I haven't lost anything at all, but like just a lot of that stuff I used to do back then, I do not regret by any means, because if I didn't do it, I would probably, or if I hadn't done it, I'd probably either be dead or in prison right now. That's just how I had to express myself and my emotions, back then, and it might have came across as whacked out to some people, but there was a reason behind what I was doing.
To me, and at that time in my life right there, I was a mixed bag of tricks myself right there, in my mind right there. And I loved everything you did right there. I think that we had a great time back in the day. I think you guys are still doing great things musically, and I'm so glad that you went to Wales and opened your horizons right there to what you thought where your music was the hottest at that time. And that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still watch Cy Peters. He's going all over the world right now.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
You know, and he's doing the same things. And I've actually, since I've been here in Tennessee, I've met a lot of musicians from a couple bands around here that are big bands since the late 90s, like Full Devil Jacket and Fuel.
Okay.
From this area. And
we're trying to get them on the show.
Here. And we're working on that. And, actually, Josh Green's a good friend of mine. That's a singer of Full Devil Jacket. I know their bass player. And I'd love to be a part of all this music that's going on right now. But what I can do right now is be a part with you right here. And I almost said you're beyond.
That's okay.
We still love you, man. And I remember, I just remember those times. And I'm, you know what, almost to a point, I miss those times.
Yeah, it's
you guys on stage and us on stage, and just having fun right there and spreading music, brother. And you're still doing it, man. I love you for it.
It's always cool. I mean, even though some of the things that I remember it kind of makes me chuckle a little bit, but there's still to this day, I run into people that remember seeing me perform 15 to 20 years ago and can tell me where the place was, what I was wearing, what I did. And I know they're not lying because there's no way they could just be that detailed. And it's like, wow, you saw me play one time 20 years ago and you remember all that? Like, you're telling me stuff I don't even remember, but I know you're telling the truth. That means a lot to me.
It should right there. And right there.
Whether,
that's
whether
where it
you
makes
like me,
you
if
know
you
that
don't
you
like
made
me,
your point.
you will remember me.
Well, do you remember back in the days when these downloading sites like Kazaa and Napster and everything were big. One time, I mean, I never really got into doing all that crap, but I did put some of the crappy recordings that I have up there of my band that was not Madstone, but my Madstone clone band. And I remember one time, how you have that chat feature and everything. I wound up striking a conversation with somebody, and this was after I had left Florida, and I put I put up this band that I was in at the time, our recordings of Madstone songs, and it was really cool. I wound up in a chat session with this guy who lived in Central Florida, and he downloaded some of my songs, and he remembered us. He's just like, oh God, I remember you guys. You guys play with Cryogenic all the time. You guys, you used to really hate it when people said that you sound like James Hetfield. And I was like, holy crap, this guy was there. He was part of it and everything. We had a really special thing going. And at that particular club that Thunder was talking about, Ground Zero, which was the coffee bar that served beer, I mean, when Madstone and Cryogenic played together, that's when that bar showed the record attendance. It's when the two, our two bands played together. I mean,
we used to play together
and
a
I'm
lot.
going to tell you right now, tonight on the radio, you said one thing that you might have to take back, though. Betty, yeah, you're going to have to take us back. When you went overseas, you played bass. Do not. You're a guitar player. Just say that. Because if you say bass player, you might have a target on your back. If you did not hear the beginning of our show, we have a running theme right here. And I was a bass player the whole time.
I never played bass in a band in Wells. I played drums in one, and I was a singer in the other.
All right, so you're not a bass player.
Oh, yeah, I'm a bass player. Yeah, I'm a bass player.
Tell me right now that you're... No, I'm telling you right now, as a bass player, there's a conspiracy. We have stories week after week. We do this little thing in the intro where we talk about stories in history and what's going on today, and like what's going on in rock and roll. And it's always bad things with bass players. So, dude, just keep with your 6-string, keep singing, keep playing drums, stay away from the bass. I love you, brother. I love you. I'm a bass player for life. I'm a bass player for life. But
the only time I ever play bass now, because I have my solo project too. And that I play all the instruments myself. I do all the singing.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you something right now.
Yeah, that's the only time I
love
play
you.
bass now.
Look, Beyond, I love you. So I will come play bass on your solo projects so you're not a target. I'm telling you. I'm going to end up writing a book right now. I'm telling you. Look, man, the stories we've talked about, it's singers and guitar players that are actually looking at bass players and they're knocking them off, dude. I'm telling you. I'm writing a book about it. It's going to be called the Thunder Conspiracy. I'm not joking.
He's never going to give up on this.
No, I won't. Nope. No, I won't. And I don't trust either of you either. I love you guys, but I don't trust you.
That is not fair, Thunder.
One day I'm going to go to dial the number in for this show right here before we do an interview, and my phone's going to blow up, and I'm going to go. There'll be no Thunder.
Thunder, we'd have nobody to take with us to shooting practice if we got rid of you.
Well, hey, y'all, I gotta get going here, but yeah, again, thanks for having me on. And
absolutely. Yes,
hey,
thank you for coming by.
You.
Yes, it's a pleasure meeting you. Hope to have you back on the show sometime.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be fun.
Cool.
Well, all right, guys. Well, listen.
Thanks for coming on.
Beyond, thank you for being on the show, man.
Hey, thank you.
All right. Yeah. Great interview. Great interview there. Love
cool.
it.
Just gotta get going.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can just hang up.
Well, Will and Chris and Beyond, thank you so much for being on the show, man. And look, I'm going to stay up with your post on Facebook right there because, as I said earlier, I love every minute of every moment of there because you know what? You can't fix stupid. And I love that you put it to a point right there of like, if you can't understand what I'm writing right now, then you know what? You should stop reading.
Right. Exactly.
And you know what? And I miss those times right there at the coffee shop.
Yeah. Those are fun days.
They were awesome.
Well, I guess I'll talk to you all later.
All right. Have a great night. Thank
we
you.
love you, and thanks for being on the show.
All right. You all take care.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Chris, hit the applause.
It's just sitting there.
You want me to start clapping by myself right here? I'll set my phone down and start clapping if I have to do that.
No, we got it going. It just took a minute.
Actually, you know what?
No, I wasn't near the computer. So
I know. I was joking.
Yeah,
I was joking.
Mine was sitting there frozen a little bit.
It would have been funny if I had just set my phone down and started clapping. That would have sounded so cool right there. Hold on. When you're ready for it, here, listen to this. That was almost funny.
That's our new applause.
Anyway, all right, listen, man, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
I gotta go take my kid to alternative school tomorrow.
You gotta go take him to thug school.
Because look, if I don't get him up on time, he's gonna beat my ass.
He's gonna shoot you.
No, if you do get him up on time, he's gonna beat your ass. I want to sleep in a little bit, Dad.
All right, well, I'll call in next week with a black eye and missing a tooth. Whatever.
Well,
anyway, thanks for being a part of the Will and Thunder show. I love you guys, damn it.
Take a salt tablet.
Just suck it up and take a salt tablet, Thunder. Just,
I'll do what I have to do. I'm going to go take a Xanax and go to sleep and hopefully be okay tomorrow.
All right. Well,
you'll have to let us know next week how everything went.
Oh, I'll let you know. Anyway, well, till next week, same bad time, same bad channel. Come to the Will and Thunder Show. All right. Well, goodbye. Love you. Mean it.
Yep. See you guys next week. Sounds good.
It's called the Will and Thunder Show. Okay, cool. And it's the Will and Thunder Show. Hello, everybody. This is Pamela Moore, and you are listening to the Will and Thunder Show.
Hi, this is Wildman George of Overlord SR, and you're listening to the Will and Thunder Show.
Blog Talk Radio.
Basically.
What the hell is that?
I'm sorry. Well.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show. Will and Thunder Show.
Ridiculous, 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 ridiculous. Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show.
Welcome on into another edition of the Will and Thunder Show. I am Kevin Thunder out here in Radio Land. I have Will Telltale and Chris the Lady in Black. It's Tuesday night. This is the most fun you can have with your clothes on. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
You don't know my life, Thunder. You don't know how fun I have when I have my clothes on.
Well, okay then. I was just saying. I was just trying to make things interesting. Now you have my mind wandering.
Damn, Chris, doing a little clothes scissor grind in there.
Well,
I'm just fucking around with Thunder.
Okay. Well,
having fun with our bass player as we always do.
For those,
of course,
for those listening, our guest Beyond of the band Murderfly will be joining us in about an hour. He's had some technical difficulties with his vehicle, but that's metal for you.
That's rock and roll,
absolutely.
Baby.
Absolutely.
Yep. But Thunder, I got something I want to play for you before you delve too far into the show.
Absolutely. Okay.
I think you'll like this.
Really. Everybody's got jokes.
Oh, hell yeah. Go Knowles.
The Krusty Krab Leg song.
The Krusty Krab Leg song.
Oh, yes, okay. Well deserved. And I should have known better.
Football is great, soccer is dumb.com.
Damn right, Hank.
You know what? Well deserved. And yes, crab leg goes well with crow. I should have never said anything, man. We were up 23-10. We were killing it, man. And as soon as I start watching the fucking game, pardon my language, as soon as I start watching it, and of course I have to be a smart ass and text you, and then my Miami Hurricanes went to shit and turned into a tropical depression.
It sounds like the Vikings game to me.
The tropical depression, nice.
Yeah.
Thunder, when you started talking your trash, what was my reply to you?
I'm not scared. I'm not worried. I'm not scared. Man, I watch every list. I watch the rest
for
of
our
the
listeners out there who have no idea what the fuck is going on, can one of you guys explain what the fuck is going on?
Okay, this is what's happened. Okay, the other night, it was the Seminoles versus the Miami Hurricanes. There was a huge Seminoles fan.
The reigning college football championship, Florida State Seminoles.
Okay, anyway.
Just throw that in.
So I'm a huge Canes fan, Miami Hurricanes. We're both from Florida, man. And for years we've had this rivalry, you know, like they've had. We always busted each other's balls about, you know, teams. Well, this year, you know, FSU now is ranked number 1 again, but they were ranked number 5. And actually, Miami played them a great game. Don't get me wrong here. But you know what? They were up at the half, 23-10. I had just turned the TV. I got done cooking supper, doing all the things around the house. It was my time to watch the football. And I'm like, 23-10. We're killing them. We're killing them. So, of course, being a smart ass, I have to get on my phone and I text Will, what's the score? And from that point on, he's like, yeah. I'm like, we're up 23-10, ha, ha, ha. And he's like, I'm not scared. And so we went back and forth on that for a little while, and then that's when we released it.
I can't hear you, Thunder.
Hi.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, we lost.
No, I'm serious.
Can you hear me now?
You got real cool. Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, so, I mean, is it clear enough for you? You're going to get my reply, and I apologize. Yes, you know what? I got to eat crow that night. You know, they came back and they won in the last couple minutes, and it's just my luck. That's why I should not watch sports of any kind. Because if I'm a fan of a team and I am watching a game, something's going to go wrong. I'm like a bad luck fan.
That's true. When the Dolphins were playing Green Bay, we were doing well, we were leading, and then all of a sudden, you know, you call me up and you're like, "Oh, about them Fins," and we lose the game. It's like literally the game just took a nosedive right after you called me.
Which sucks is for them to win, I can't watch it. I mean, even if I have the slightest idea and I hit my TiVo and record the game, so I can watch it later because I know I won't be able to watch the regular game because I'll be at work or whatever. No, they'll still lose because they'll watch it later. It's not there. It's not there.
Well, at least you're not a Raider fan. At the end of the day, no matter how bad it gets, you can
I'm not a
Raider
fan. That's right. That's
you're not a Raiders fan. So you see, Thunder, everything has a silver lining.
Yes, it does.
All right. Well,
it sounds like my weekend was better than yours anyway, Thunder.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about
actually, the weekend was good. The Dolphins won this week. You know, well, actually, it was during the week last week. So, yeah, your weekend.
Well, my non-football-related weekend was better than yours.
Well, there you go. Mine wasn't, I mean, and on top of that, okay, that happened, that was Saturday when that happened.
Right.
After the game, I'm playing with my 2 boys, and my son grabs this piece of cardboard and folds it up into like a sword almost, and he's like, you know, he just watched 300 Rise of the Empire.
Was he getting ready to stab the bass player?
Right. Yeah, he was trying to kill me with this cardboard. So I go in, because we had just moved into our house a little while ago, so we had this extra cardboard laying around. I go make a shield and a sword, and I made a helmet and everything, and we're playing, having a blast, right? Well, my son does the 300, I'm going to jump off a cliff, you know, in the midair and swing my sword. Well, I'm barefoot. He jumps off he runs and jumps off the corner of the bed right there and lands with all 65 pounds of his body weight and the heel of his foot on my toe.
Oh.
Snaps it right there.
We need like the Lord of the Rings soundbite. You shall not pass.
No, exactly. Look, so now I'm hobbling around the next 2 days at work looking like a jackleg because my 11-year-old whooped my ass. The Hurricanes lost. I mean, I'm just miserable. You know, I get to work Sunday and I'm hobbling around, and everybody up front is joking around because it's Sunday. It's a church day at the restaurant I work at. You know, 12 o'clock, everybody comes in from church. Old people. Well, one of the old people that came in had a walker, and everybody kept telling me, if you need some help, there's something up front that'll help you.
Oh, outrageous!
I mean, come on now. You know, I'm already an old guy at work. You know, I still work in a restaurant business. I'm 42 years old, so you know, I'm working with 20-year-olds, and they always joke around, call me pops and everything. Anyway, well now I'm hopping around like an old man, so you know, the prophecy's fulfilled. Ridiculous.
Do you ever do you ever shake your fist at them and tell them to get off your damn lawn?
I do all the time.
All right.
I get to be the grumpy old man, exactly. But anyway.
Well, I mean, maybe I'll cheer you guys up.
Okay, and you want to hear the kicker to my week right here? So far?
Right.
This is the week I'm having. Okay. Yesterday, my 11-year-old who broke my toe comes home and got a little shiner on his eye. And he's like, Dad, I gotta go talk to the principal tomorrow. Me and this kid got into a fight today.
You're gonna have to go in there limping on your bad toe.
No, I actually didn't. I didn't have to go in.
He beat me up too.
But yeah, exactly.
I
should have gone to the show about it. He broke my toe, kicked his kid away, put him in handcuffs. No.
He's a bully. I can't help it.
I know. So anyway, the story, he comes home last night. Yesterday he comes home from school and he got a shiner in his eye. And he told me the story that this is what happened. This boy that he goes to school with was talking crap about everybody. So he stood up and told the kid, look, man, quit talking crap about everybody. Well, he went to go to the bathroom. This was happening in gym class. And the kid was already in the bathroom and kind of, you know, caught him off guard, shoved him. He shoved him back. He got hit in the eye, and then he grabbed the kid and hit him a couple times. That's the story he tells me yesterday. And I'm like, you should not, you know, fight in school, blah, 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 but you kind of were defending yourself. We'll see what happens. Well, he comes home today. Well, by the way, my 11-year-old, who's never been in trouble before now, has got kicked out of school for 6 days. He has to go to an alternative school.
Thunder, I can't hear you.
Yeah, Thunder, you're breaking up.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
My microphone was messed up. Anyway.
You need to just let it go.
Yeah. He got kicked out of school for 60 days because there's a no tolerance for fighting in his school, and he has to go to alternative school for 60 days. But then I find out the story today that in gym class, he was, you know, everybody's joking around, and they're talking about, you know, who's the toughest. He's like, I can beat up anybody.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah.
Somebody called him.
So this
I beat up my dad.
So this kid, exactly. So this. No, so what happens that, you know, everybody goes in the locker room to, you know, change out afterward. And this one kid's like, oh, yeah, you can't beat up everybody. And they were joking around. Well, another kid shoves my son into the other boy. The other boy gets mad, shoves him back. They start shoving each other. He hits him in the eye. Then my son shoves him against the door and punches him 3 times. But that's what really happened. So he actually, you know, was an instigator with, oh, I can whoop anybody's butt. And now he goes, now he has to go to little kid jail and alternative school for 60 days.
He's got to go where they pin the mittens on year round.
I mean,
all year round.
Well,
and now my son's going to be pegged because it's going to be on his record from now on.
He's going to learn to be even more of a badass.
Exactly right. You know, he's going to
go
learn how to make
stab
meth in the alternative school. Right, exactly.
He's going to be a criminal.
He's the same one who I promised I'm going to get him a guitar for Christmas so he can start learning rock and roll. Well, he's already living the lifestyle now, so he might as well.
I know, he's already
get him a
rock
guitar.
and roll.
Exactly, you know. Look,
he's already metal.
I cannot wait for his VH1 special. Like, yeah, man, I got kicked out of school in the 7th grade. I was 11 years old. What's some kid's ass? Yeah. One night I broke my dad's toe. Next day, this is horrible.
You know, I just keep thinking of the little kids, you know, oh, my dad can beat up your dad. My dad can beat up your dad. Oh, yeah, well, I beat up my dad, so fuck you.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It is, you know. Like, my dad will beat up your dad.
Badass kid ever.
He's like, fuck you guys. I beat up my dad, so you guys can kiss my ass. Bring your dad on, fuckers.
Bring it.
I'll break his bones, too. That's right.
Uh-huh.
When's parent-teacher conference? I'll be there, bitches. He's standing outside the school with one of those little baseball bats you get at the baseball game, like a little billy club, just waiting. Take you out of the knees, you fucker.
Break, goddammit.
That's right. Leave me alone.
Now, I'm interested in hearing about your weekend there, Chris.
Oh, thanks, guys. Well, I had a very eventful weekend. As you guys know, I went down to L.A. to see our friends, A Sound of Thunder. They were fucking awesome. Yes, they were great. Shout out to Sound of Thunder right now. They're probably listening. But, it was finally cool to get to meet them in person, and they put on a fantastic show. Anybody in the area who didn't go, you don't know what you missed, and